The brand new $1 billion fish markets for Sydney. They say Sydney Fish Market is not just a commercial hub, but it's a cultural and social landmark for the city. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about the new fish markets and what it's going to do to Sydney property prices.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. I witnessed firsthand the effects on the weekend of the Sydney fish market.
You went. So the Northern
went.
Beaches boy jumped on a beeline bus or drove in?
Yeah, beeline bus, a sharp walk through the city, and it was really, really good fun. If you haven't been, we took one friend who had never been before. The other friend had been. If you haven't taken someone in the family or a friend, they'll love it. You'll love it. It's great. It's a really good day out.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What'd you eat?
Yeah. Fish. A lot of it. We had scallops in a shell that I've never seen before with a cheesy sauce. It does have a proper name. I forgot what it was called. A lobster roll. The best sushi I've ever eaten. I thought sushi was very, very, very underrated, but it was good.
Wow. And I guess guys and girls who are watching, like, this is something. It sort of stuff happens under our nose with infrastructure and improvements across Sydney, and I find that sometimes it just misses people. It just misses me, and I just don't know about it until the end. I'm like, hey, why didn't anyone tell me about this? But you're out there now. I've got to say, it's probably my favourite thing to do in Sydney CBD, to get up on a Sunday and go for a big walk around there, suss it out with friends, have a nice meal. Yeah, it's a nice, honest, fun, cool thing to do.
And I tell you what, that makes it a bit different to every other dining experience. It sounds a bit fancy going to the fish market, but you get there and it's chaos. It's organized chaos, which makes the whole event so much more fun. This place has been in operation since 1966, so I guess it's getting near 50, 60 years old, and let's fair to say that the dining space is pretty original. It consists of a few park benches with seagulls absolutely everywhere, but it's really got that sort of market feel to it, which is hard to find.
Now, the new fella is probably, from the sky, is looking about 3 times bigger than the old fella. I think it's genius to double down on infrastructure like this that works. Not only is it operating and servicing as a fish market, but it really is a hub for our everyone in the catchment of Sydney that people just love to go to. I think it's clever that a government, like, it's cost us $750 million to build a new one, and probably like any infrastructure, it'll blow out to an extra 25% on top. $1 billion. Why would a government spend that much on fish?
It does seem crazy. Can I show you what they're actually doing? Just quickly. This is what we were looking at on the weekend.
That's all the piers going into the slab.
Yeah, so you can watch this happening right on from
Wow! That's massive.
Yeah.
On the foreground of Sydney.
This thing is going to be like 50 times bigger than the existing one. It's
It's
massive.
unbelievable, unbelievable. Now, what's clever about this sort of stuff that I love is they'll build this sort of new infrastructure and they'll sometimes rezone and sell out the old infrastructure. So I've got a hunch, feeling, or I saw from memory that they'll tender that probably that old facility out. If you're doing residential in that old facility, waterfront apartments. They're going to make back a lot more than $500 million or $1 billion just for the land sale. So I guess it's a nice piecemeal where you can sort of cut that off, get rid of the old fella, build a brand new fella. The community enjoys it. Pretty clever move.
And don't get me wrong, we need a new fish market. The appetite is there.
Was
Um,
it full?
you touched on the like tourist attraction side of things. There were buses
Yes.
turning up with people, jumping off to come and have a look. There was a little souvenir shop, alongside the best restaurant in the place. It was full, but not full for Sydney fish market standards. If you turn up on a Christmas day, good luck to you getting through the crowd. At least we could all get a seat. It was really, really, yeah, it was bustling. It was good to see. There was energy in the city on a Sunday afternoon. Really good
Now,
to see.
just before we go, I want people to think about this because it does tie back to the elements of being a great city, trying to be a great city, but it's you've got to keep you've got to keep testing yourself and pushing yourself as a city. You can't sit on your laurels and just say we're Sydney because we're Sydney and we're good because we're Sydney. You have to keep pushing. This is part of the motivation features. So the modern, I did got some notes here. Modernisation and upgrades. Like the fella was old, like you were saying. It is
Yeah.
actually this sort of infrastructure is proven as an economic boost. So it creates more jobs, not only from the building side of things, but sustainably in the future. For the operators that go in there,
Yes.
it becomes a global attraction. So if you think about Sydney Opera House and the Harbour Bridge, what effect they've had as a global attraction for our city, it's doing stuff like that, which is cool. Improve public spaces so we get to enjoy it all. Sustainability, well, the world's changed, so energy efficiency, the best use practices of what they used to throw a lot of stuff in the water. Now it's got to go through filtration systems. That's the law. Um, Accessibility, I think, for is another one with transport links. For people, with cycling infrastructure, wheelchair friendly, all that sort of stuff. So there's some pretty big benefits there for a city, and I think it's just another notch in Sydney's belt to keep pushing and trying to be a better city.
Spot on. I reckon it's money well spent. It's needed. It'd be more expensive, I'm sure, to try and upgrade the existing site. A lot of history there. I just hope they take that through with it. It's really cool to see some of the old businesses, two or three in particular, big names have been there since they opened. Really, really cool.
Yeah, like I know there was some infrastructure buildings around that site. It's actually quite a big site, and I distinctly remember some of those families, like with the fruit market. A lot of those families have invested in buildings around it, and it's just going. It's one of those things that I think you can't fail being on the water and being that close to the city there. But Billy, how does that affect property prices on the northern beaches?
Well, it. I think it cross pollinates just being close. People, might want to be there for work, not live there. It's all, as you said, just another feather to the bow. It's just such a good day out on the doorstep. People will love that. Come to the area, live there, stay. It's just good. It's like the Olympics. It's all infrastructure.
It's all there. And for me, it's like one thing I learnt from COVID is it's about experiences and who you're sharing it with. And I found that with COVID, it didn't people as long as it didn't matter if people were locked down in their homes, in a city, in a suburb, in a city, in a country. What people then sought when they were locked down was positive experiences, something fun to do, and
Yeah.
sharing with people that they love. So for me personally, I think this sort of infrastructure is something where you're going there with people that mean something to you, and you're having a great experience. The old one that I go to, I feel that. The old Sydney, if you just tuned in, we're talking about the Sydney fish markets. The old one that I go to, I feel that, and it's just very cool all the time. So good on you, Sydney City, for doing it.
And jump on the bus, drive in. There is parking if you want to drive, and go check it out.
How long did it take to walk from Wynyard Station down there?
If you want to do it as quick as possible, I reckon you'll get there in 25 minutes, and you can
Pretty
build
cool.
that walk out as long as sort of an hour and a half. Just depends where you want to do. You almost got to go back to go forward if you do the long route, the full one, or you can cut straight through. You'll be there in no time.
Or dead level walk, you can get an e-bike and go along the foreshore.
Yeah,
You can
or
hire
tram.
you can hire those green e-bikes.
Yep, it's all there.
There you go, guys. Another thing for Sydney property prices. Billy, have a great day. Everyone have a great week. Thanks
See
for
ya.
watching. See ya.